Okay, if you're an investor in the Paraparic FlexiCap Fund, you're going to want to pay close attention. PPFAS Mutual Fund just dropped a pretty big announcement that's going to affect your investment, and we're here to break down exactly what it means for you.
Because if you are, you need to know that a really important part of your fund is about to change, and that means you've got some decisions to make pretty soon. So the heart of this whole thing is a change to the fund's fundamental attributes. Now, I know that sounds like a bunch of financial jargon, but it's actually a legal term. And it's a big deal because it signals a major shift. And by law, it gives you, the investor, some very specific rights. Let's get into what that really is.
All right, let's start unpacking this announcement. First things first, we've got to understand the official terms they're using here.
So what is a fundamental attribute change? Well, think of it this way. It's not just a tiny tweak. It's a significant change to how the fund works at its core. And because it's such a big deal, regulators make the fund house give all current investors a way out, completely penalty-free. This means you can decide to leave without paying any of those pesky exit load fees.
So what is this big change? Well, the fund is introducing something called an IDCW option. It stands for Income Distribution, Capital Withdrawal. Simply put, it's a new choice for investors who might want to get their profits paid out to them every now and then, instead of just having them automatically reinvested. This is something funds often do to appeal to people like retirees, who might be looking for a more regular cash flow from their investments.
And this brings up a really important choice. Up until now, the fund only had a growth option, but now there's a second path you can consider. So let's put the original growth option side by side with this new IDCW option.
Okay, let's break these two paths down. With the growth option, the one you're in now, all your profits get automatically plowed back into the fund. The whole point is to let your money compound and grow over the long term. Now, the new IDCW option is for folks who might prefer getting a potential income stream. Any profits can be paid out to you periodically. But, and this is super important to understand, every time a payout happens, the fund's net asset value, or NAV, goes down.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. If you actually go for this new IDCW plan, the default setting is for the income to be paid out to you. Now, for anyone putting new money into the fund, the default is still the growth plan. And here's a really crucial point. The stocks and bonds inside the fund, the actual portfolio, it's exactly the same for both options. The only thing that changes is what happens to the profits that are generated.
So, what does this mean for you? And how much time do you have to think about it? Well, because this is a fundamental attribute change, you get a special, penalty-free window to make up your mind.
And the magic number here is 30. You get a 30-day period to figure out what you want to do. And during this window, you can pull your investment out completely free of charge. No exit loads, no penalty fees. This is your chance to act if this new direction doesn't quite fit with your financial goals. So you might want to mark these dates down. The penalty-free exit window opens up on October 1st, 2025. It slams shut at the end of the business day on October 30th, 2025. And then the very next day, October 31st, all these changes officially kick in.
So during this 30-day window, you've got 3 and only 3 clear choices. First, you can redeem your units, which just means you cash out everything. Second, you could switch your money into a different mutual fund scheme that PPFAS offers. Or third, you can just do nothing. And if you do nothing, don't worry, your investment just stays right where it is, in the Parag-Parikh FlexiCap Fund, under the same growth option it's always been in.
Okay, so what if you do decide you want to make a change? What's the actual process? Let's walk through the practical steps you need to take.
The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. Step 1, decide what you want to do, redeem or switch. Step 2, submit your request. You can do this online, fill out a physical form, or if you hold your units in a DMAT account, you'll need to contact your depository participant. And finally, the most critical part, you have to act within that deadline, so sometime between October 1st and October 30th.
Now, before you jump to do anything, there are a few final but really important points to remember. First, double-check that your bank details and your address are up to date. You need to do this at least 10 working days before you put in a request. Second, and please listen to this, selling or switching your units is a taxable event. That means you could have capital gains or losses you'll need to account for. And finally, a bit of good news. All the costs related to making this change, they're being paid for by the fund house, not by you. So that's one less thing to worry about.
So after all that information, what's the bottom line? Let's boil this all down to the final takeaway, the thing that really matters for your own investment strategy.
So to sum it all up, the fund is adding a new income payout option. By default, you'll stay in the growth plan. You've got a 30-day window in October to get out penalty-free if you want. And really, this whole thing gives you more flexibility. But it's also a great excuse to pause and just review your own financial goals.
And that really leaves us with the most important question of all, and it's a question that only you can answer. Take a good look at your own financial plan. What are you trying to achieve? Are you at a stage where a potential regular income stream would be helpful? Or is your main priority still long-term growth and building wealth? Your answer to that question will tell you exactly what you need to do.